wanted to sit down and make a video today, honestly because I'm already wearing makeup and I don't like putting on or taking off makeup, but it looks good on camera, so I figured I'd go ahead and make another video while I'm already wearing makeup. So here we go. So I'm going to show you a chord progression. It's not really the chords to a particular song, but it is a progression that you would be likely to see in a jazz standard. So it's good practice for getting these chord shapes in your hands. So today we'll be in the key of C, really just because that's a comfortable place for me on the baritone. It's far enough up the neck that you don't have to press down quite so hard to let those chords ring out. So I'm going to go ahead and play the progression, then I'll tell you what the chords are and show you how to play them. Isn't that a nice sound? So like I said before, we're in the key of C major, and the notes in the C major scale are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And if you don't recognize those hand signs, I have a video I would suggest to you. So when I talk about the one chord in the key of C, I'm talking about the chord that's built on the first note of that major scale. When I talk about the 4 chord, I'm talking about the chord that's built on the 4th note of the major scale. The 5 chord is built on the 5th note, which is G. The 6th note is A, and so on and so forth. So the progression that I'm playing starts on the 1 chord, or a variation of the 1 chord. So this is a C6 chord to a C sharp diminished 7, to a D minor 7, to a G7, to an E minor 7, to an A7, D minor 7 again, to G7, back to C6. Now if you were talking about numbers, this would be the 1 chord, sharp 1 diminished, 2 minor 7, 5 7, 3 minor 7, 6 7, 2 minor 7, 5 7, 1. Now did you notice this was 2 minor 7, 5 7, 1. That's where we get the term 2 5 1. It's a series of chords that's based on the circle of fifths, which is a whole other big topic, and I will try to get into that in a future video. So now I'm going to show you how to play all of those chords that we just named. So C6 is really easy. We're just barring across the 5th fret with our pointer finger. And whenever I can, I use my middle finger to kind of support that pointer finger. So C6, they're all just barred across the 5th fret. Now for the C sharp diminished 7, we're going to keep our pointer finger where it is, but we're doing kind of a zigzag pattern across the fretboard. So pointer on the 5th fret of the D string, ring on the 6th fret of the G string, middle finger on the 5th fret of the B string, and pinky on the 6th fret of the E string. So it's 5th, 6th, 5th, 6th. That's why in my brain I picture kind of a zigzag. So that's our C sharp diminished 7, which is basically walking up to our D minor 7. So you hear do, do, do. That's what I mean when I say walking up. So D minor 7, you've got your middle finger barring across the 7th fret of the D and G strings. Your pointer is on the 6th fret of the B string, and pinky is on the 8th fret of the E string. So it's 7th, 7th, 6th, 8th. And then from there we go to our G7. So for this one, our pointer is back on the 5th fret of the D string. Ring finger goes on the 7th fret of the G string. middle goes on the 6th fret of the B string, and our pinky goes on the 7th fret of the E string. So it's 5, 7, 6, 7. 5th fret, 7th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret. That's our G7. So far we've got C6, C sharp diminished 7, D minor 7, G7. Okay, only 2 more chords to go. So after our G7, we're gonna take that shape that we did for D minor 7. Remember it was 7th fret, 7th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret. You're literally just gonna slide everything 2 frets closer to you. So now your middle finger is barring across the 9th fret of the D and G strings. Pointer is on the 8th fret of the B string. Pinky is on the 10th fret of the E string. So it's 9th fret, 9th fret, 8th fret, 10th fret. And then just like we moved our D minor 7 shape up 2 frets, we're gonna move our G7 shape up 2 frets. So back here for G7, we had pointer on the 5th fret, ring on the 7th, middle on the 6th, pinky on the 7th. Well, now we're just moving that 2 frets closer. So for our A7, we have pointer on the 7th fret of the D string, ring on the, 9th fret of the G string, middle on the 8th fret of the B string, and pinky on the 9th fret of the E string. Okay, so we did D minor 7 to G7. Now we do the same shapes 2 frets closer. E minor 7, A7, and then we repeat our D minor 7 and G7. So in time it goes like this. C6, C sharp diminished 7, D minor 7, G7, E minor 7, A7, D minor 7, G7. Back to C6. So that's a few measures of a chord progression that you would be likely to see in a jazz standard. So it's kind of nice to have just a short chunk that you can practice to get those shapes in your hands. The D minor 7 to the G7 shape is really common. The C or C6 to the C sharp diminished 7 is pretty common. The diminished 7 shape can be really challenging to get in your fingers, but once you have it, we can use this shape for a lot of different chords. So that's a great one to learn as well. So one last time, here's that progression. 1, 2, 3, 4.